Max Kellerman made a point that I have been trying to make for the longest. KP is not only not a number one yet, but he's also just been getting used too much. Me and the Notification Gang would like to invite everybody to come join us Monday through Thursday, 9:20 to 10 o'clock for morning coffee, where we discuss the events of the prior day and also just talk mess about stuff. See you then.
Well, Stephen A., you did a very good job bashing the Knicks. You really hit them hard. And if anyone out there thinks that I'm going to pile on, they're absolutely right. Let me explain something about New York sports franchises to people who aren't from there, because I am, Stephen A., you are. In New York, in the major team sports, there is always the Heritage franchise and the Clown franchise. So in football, the Heritage franchise, the Giants, I know they're in bad shape now, maybe they were for a year, but they've won 4 Super Bowls. And the Giants are normally a very competitive team. And then on the other hand, you have the Jets. In baseball, the Yankees, the greatest franchise by far in the history of American team sports, the Heritage franchise, and then you have the Mets. And in basketball, is it the Knicks that are the Heritage franchise and the Nets that are the Clown franchise? No. The Knicks are the Heritage franchise. They've been around forever. And they're the Clown franchise. And New York is more basketball crazy than it is crazy for any other sport. And the Heritage franchise, the Knicks, is also the Clown franchise. Number one culprit, James Dolan. By the way, fish rots from the head down. Robin Lundberg, our boy, Stephen A. Smith, Robin Lundberg made this point on Twitter last night. When a player says he's tired, maybe instead of piling on, maybe listen. He's 7'3". He's playing a lot of minutes. He's not really built for that yet. He's still working his way up to it very early in his career. He's the whole franchise, and the usage rate doesn't change or anything. Eventually, he winds up with a serious injury. And then today, just now, Stephen A. Smith, Willie Hernan-Gomez, a team-friendly contract for a guy who plays well with Porzingis, who has size, just a good player, for 2 second-round picks. You expect to get a player better than Hernan-Gomez in the second round? You expect to package those picks somehow to move into the first round? I don't understand the Knicks' logic frequently because there isn't any. The franchise is a joke.
BB Jack Frost, what's up, party people? Hey, before the video we will continue, hit that like button, subscribe, and join the Notification Gang. Hashtag Bronx Bombers. Let's get it. Alright, so I've been telling people this for a while. Look, man, KP is just not a number one. It's not that he can never be a number one. It's just that he isn't one now. See, people need to understand the difference between potential and actual present ability. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of times people look at an individual's potential and think that that's presently where they're at, and not understanding that there's some growth that needs to take place. And this is what has befallen KP. He came in because of whether anybody wants to acknowledge this or not. I know there's going to be a ton of people who are going to disagree with me on this, but I'm telling you this because we could see even in this season that when he had Carmelo Anthony on the floor with him at the same time, it caused for teams that not be able to double him. You couldn't double because Carmelo's a knockdown jump shot shooter. You put Carmelo on the floor on the 3, right? Carmelo has a 3 on him. The 3 can't get off of him. The 5 can't really come and help because whatever the center is going to be close to the basket. So the 5 come help, you could just throw it down to the center and get an easy bucket. So that makes it so that other teams had to double KP with the 1 and the 2, who in most times weren't tall enough to prevent him from turning around and shooting. KP was just more efficient during this time with Carmelo Anthony. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So you also have people who just recently, KP said that he was tired. And all over Twitter, I've seen people killing him for that. Killing him for saying that. What people are not realizing is you get injured when you're tired. That's when you get injured. KP 7'3". The problem is he's been being used incorrectly, in my opinion, often, and too often, in my opinion. So this is wear and tear. It's making him tired. It's when you get tired, that's when you jump and you dunk the ball, but you don't jump further enough to get out of the way of the defender. Because that's basically what happened. Dude kind of jumped under him, but you're not trying to jump up and come down with somebody landing on you, and you're not trying to jump up and come down and land on anybody else. See, now if the Greek Freak, if Giannis didn't jump, then I'd say, oh man, that might have been a dirty play. But Giannis jumped. That wasn't a dirty play. Giannis tried to block the shot. He was just unsuccessful. That's it. That's all. Both men came down. KP landed on him because KP is tired, like he's been telling people. And since KP is tired, he didn't jump, dunk, or land with the same intensity or with the same awareness that he would have if he would have not been tired. And now for everybody that makes fun of him saying that he's tired, now he's injured. And even more importantly, think about how often other superstars in this day and age sit out a game. This ain't back like in the freaking 90s, all right? Players work out and prepare for games differently. And since they work out and prepare for games differently, the stamina isn't the same. You know? Look at Charles Oakley. He played a lot of minutes, right? But he wasn't a guy that jumped. Charles Oakley wasn't the guy. He didn't look like a guy that was a gym rat. That wasn't, you understand? Think about the guys that came into the league that were uber athletic. And in the first 3 years, they were injured. That comes from overuse. 2, that comes from being used incorrectly. So for all of these people that were talking about how, for one, KP is, oh man, he's the number one. I don't even know why they got Melo. Got to get Melo so KP could get more touches. First of all, that proved that was a bad idea because the Knicks is not doing better than they were last year. The Knicks aren't better than they were last year. So that proves that was a bad idea. Another thing that proves that was a bad idea is too much usage. KP is getting too much usage. Now, if anybody was watching that game last night, that I was watching that game, you'll notice that Beasley made a couple of mistakes, right? But it was time to bring Kanter back in because they needed Kanter in because I believe he was getting killed on the boards. So they bring Kanter back in, right? So we could get our offensive boards back because he's our best offensive rebounder. So they bring Kanter in. But what they should have did was they should have sat KP. They should have given him rest. This is the third quarter. KP plays, and I'm telling you, KP played too many third quarter minutes. He just played too many third quarter minutes because you know that you're going to need him in the fourth quarter. You know it. The third quarter is the quarter that the coach needs to do the most coaching to either pull away or prevent the other team from pulling away. He needs to have his rotations on point because you want whoever your stars is to play the third quarter. Don't get it confused. But you also want to make sure that they get enough rest. So in the fourth quarter, they're ready to go out there and be gangbusters. And this is why I blame the coach. Not just for the injury, but just for the ineptitude that the Knicks have shown throughout the season. It's the coach's fault, in my belief. Anyway, Max Kellerman right there shares my opinion. It doesn't make any sense. You're playing KP too many minutes. People get injured when they play too many minutes. So all of y'all people on Twitter, all of y'all people on social media in general that keeps wanting to bash KP because he said that he was tired. Think about that. And I'm pretty sure the majority of y'all guys are good people. So I'm not out here like, y'all some MFers. Nah, I'm pretty sure y'all got some good people. I'm just saying this is just how it works. If you overplay an individual, they will get injured. It'll either be some kind of freak accident like that, or it'll just be like what happened to Cousins, because Cousins was getting too playing. They were overplaying him also, and his Achilles went. It's just that's what it is. And just so we could be clear, a lot of this is happening in the East with all these freak injuries, because in the East people feel like they have a chance to make it into the playoffs, and if they get a good spot, they can do well, because the West is where all the competition is. So a lot of these players and a lot of these teams that are middle of the road teams in the East that would never be able to compete in the West, they know that if they get into the playoffs, or they know that they can get into the playoffs, pardon me, and that's why they're pushing so hard, and that's why you got guys just getting injured in the West, in the East in particular. You know, that's why freaking Blake Griffin was getting injured all of those years in the Clippers. Too many minutes, not enough rest. So by the time the end of the season come, when the playoffs come, Blake Griffin is on crutches. Anyway, that's all I got on this one. Let me leave it down below. I want to know what y'all comments. I want to know what y'all think about this, especially about what Max said. But I'm standing behind what Max said, and I'm with him on the Willie Herman Gomez position that he took, because unless they're gonna use both of those picks, and this is what I think might also be happening. By the way, they might be using both of those second round picks and try to use that as bait to get rid of the Noah contract. That might be what's going on, because believe me, Noah's not washed. He's not washed. He's nowhere near washed. I mean, he's not the Noah that they used to be, but he's not washed. For whatever the reason is, Jeff Hornacek don't like him. You know what I'm saying? I think Jeff Hornacek don't like certain players because, you know, he wants everybody to talk to him nice and kind and oh yes, Jeff. You know, and he doesn't like that gruff stuff. And you know that's how Noah coming. So that's another reason why I just don't think Jeff Hornacek is a good coach for the Knicks. Like, we need a down, gritty guy. Like, I would love to have Fizdale, don't get me wrong. Fizdale, I would love to have him. I mean, come on, man. Grindhouse coach, I would love to have him. But at the same time, I would love to have Mark Jackson or Jeff Van Gundy also. I just think that teams know that if they hire Jeff Van Gundy or Mark Jackson, that the refs aren't going to give them any calls. And that's why I don't think those guys are blackballed. Because if they were really blackballed by the coaches and such, I don't think they'd really be doing all of this, doing all these games, broadcasting, being a part of all these broadcasts. But these guys, they great at that shit, not for nothing. So, you know, that might be just enhancing the NBA product just in general, so that, you know, they're just great at it. They're like two of the best, easy. And when I say best, easy, I mean like two of the best ever, easy. So, that's all I got on this one, man. Y'all leave the comments down below. I want to know what y'all think about this. Like, comment, subscribe, join the notification gang, # Bronx Bombers. Let's get it. Yo, look, I love y'all, man. Take care of each other. I'm out. If you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. If you would like to help dictate the direction that this channel takes, please leave a comment. All comments are appreciated, whether positive or negative. Thank you very much, and enjoy your day. And remember, positive thoughts cause for positive things to happen. Let's get it.